All right, everyone, welcome to the Digital Dish. I'm joined by my co-host, Lisa Beyer, and we have a really awesome guest who I will introduce in a couple of minutes. But thank you guys for listening to our podcast, and where we talk about social media, PR, the intersection between storytelling and technology. So my name is Carol. I'm the Hispanic marketing evangelist for Boom Social. I teach social media. I'm working on some really cool Latinos in virtual reality projects. So very excited about that. And like I said, I'm joined by Lisa. So Lisa, I'll let you intro yourself.
Okay. Thanks, Kathy. So my name is Lisa Beyer. I'm the author of Social PR Secrets, and I also teach a class at University of Florida in social media management, which I'm working on right now, my syllabus right here. And I also do social media and public relations consulting. So my angle is how to mix social with SEO and public relations and get the most visibility. And happy to be here today and hear all about Alice's secrets on lifestyle blogging and anything else you'll share with us, Alice. Tell us about yourself.
Absolutely. So like you said, I'm a family lifestyle blogger. I have my own blog, Thrill of the Chases, which is a play on our last name, Chase. And then I work with brands to help them kind of navigate the live stream space and as they're working with influencers and bloggers. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was so happy to have Alice here. I mean, she's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. I mean, I love this girl so much. I can't tell you. She's fantastic. And she works, I mean, the work she does with brands is really amazing. So maybe we can start talking a little bit about, Alice, how did you get started with the blog? First, how did you start with your blog? And then you obviously started off kind of as a mommy blogger, but then really transitioned into lifestyle, family, parenting. So tell us a little bit about that history.
Right. So I had originally worked corporate most all of my life until I would say until we had our fourth child, so about 10 years ago. And that was just not really doable when we had a family. And I had been keeping I had a family blog, a mommy blog, if you will, kind of just chronicling all of the different things that we were doing and what that looks like to be a mom. And I had a friend of mine who, Courtney, and her blog is My Crazy Savings, who had quit her job to stay home with her 3 girls. And I saw her working with brands and really making that her job, her career. And she had mentioned to me, I was like, that's very interesting. It was very complimentary of what she was doing. And at the time, so I guess it was about a little over 5 years ago, she had said, well, if you're ever interested in transitioning your blog, I'd be glad to help you. Well, just being completely naive at that time, I said, oh, no, thank you. I have a real job. And I literally said that I have a real job, not understanding what the industry was like at all. And when I decided to leave my corporate setting to transit, and I was kind of like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? I want to stay home with my kids, but I need to work, or I want to work, but I really do need it to be a viable income if I'm going to do that. And so I kind of came back to her and said, hey, I see that you're doing this, it is a real job, that you've been doing this for several years and it's been a viable income for you and providing for your family great experiences and, and financially supporting your family. Would you show me how to do this?
Wow.
And so she was very gracious, and I totally apologized because I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I just didn't know. So she kind of showed me what it takes, because it isn't just, oh, you have you can write a few words on a website and that's a blog. That's not what this industry part of it is about.
So what are some of the steps? Tell us, what's a day in the life with you?
A day in life. Oh, there's so many things. I feel like it's perfect for my personality because I am interested in a variety of things, which lifestyle blogging is great. There are more, niches that are focused, but I love it because it integrates so well with my kids and what they're interested in and what I'm interested in, and we really can pursue those things. So a day with us could be building a pillow fort and the snacks that we make in the living room, or it could be as planned out as a family road trip and different spots along the way, highlighting different hotels and locations and what a budget looks like for that. Or even working with automotive, covering an auto show, or just a variety of things.
I saw on your Twitter handle all the cool places that you've been. I think, weren't you in California, in Laguna?
Yes, absolutely. So I was there for.
That's part of your job, right?
Mom too. Yes. Yeah.
Sweet, right? I want your job, Alice.
That's a big part of it. I didn't mention that when we talked about kind of how I got started. Another big thing of that, before I really transitioned my blog from simply mommy blogging to lifestyle blogging and working with brands, is that I made sure that I did my homework. I went to a lot of the very professional conferences to learn, what does this look like? What does this entail? It is a profession, so you need to make sure that you're educated about what you're doing.
Smart. And, we're kind of kidding. We say, oh, we want your job, because everyone you talk to that travels to all these glamorous places, I mean, it's work too. It's not like you're just, on the beach sipping cocktails the whole time. I mean, you're there to do a job, and it's not just all the glam that it looks like it is, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. No. Yeah. In the beginning, I would say for the very first year of making this my job, I got very little sleep, just like you would just as an entrepreneur starting any new business, very little sleep. And especially doing it while I was trying to have young ones at home. So I was still mom during the day, but when they went to bed at 8 o'clock, there were times that I would be up from 8 to 2 working, just writing or catching up on emails or whatever you would do at a day job. I was doing that too. Very, very little sleep. And then up again at, 5 or 6 in the morning. So.
Well, and I think what you said about going to those conferences and getting educated, I think that is amazing advice, because you see people trying to jump in and do all these things, but they don't really try to learn the industry. Say, I'm just going to be the blah, blah, blah blogger, the blah, blah, blah thought leader, without really educating themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. The education is important. The networking is important, just like you would do for any other career.
Agreed.
So, and being teachable, right? There are people who are in your industry who have done these things for a long time, and they have really great advice. So I think as much as we speak, we should listen.
What are some of the things that you do to promote yourself, to get yourself out there and get brands to attract, get more brands attracted to you, to say, hey, we want to use you as an influencer?
I really enjoy the personal learning what a brand is about. So, which ties into the listening. I think as much as I'm out there pitching and telling people about who I am, I have my ears open to listen, to ask them, okay, well, what is it that you're doing? Is what you're doing a good match with who I am? Authenticity is incredibly important in blogging and in any industry. You can't ever buy back your character.
That's so true. That is so true. And now that we're talking about influence, like, how do you define influence? Because people always think it's like about the numbers of followers or things like of that nature. Like, how do you define influence?
How do I define influence? Okay,
that's a hard one. I didn't do that one.
That is a tough one. I think we are all influential in a certain circle, right? And sometimes those circles overlap. I think influence is when you're able to tell a story, whatever that is, whether it's a product, whether it's about your life, and you find that it resonates with people. I had an instance recently. I had been writing for a company, and I was pitching another client, and we were talking about something completely different, something just social media. They were looking for a strategy for something, and then they were kind of doing their background research on me, which I so appreciate. And they came to me and they had seen something on the blog, and they said it was a completely different industry, not anything they were interested in. They said, what you do for them, we want you to do that for us, because that story resonates. So I think when you're able to tell something, and even if it's something completely unrelated to what someone is looking for, but it resonates with them, that's when you can define your influence.
I think also that's a great way to describe it. And I don't think it's a number game. I think that you could have, 100 followers and still be influential, as long as those 100 followers are quality followers that are following you for a specific reason. And I mean, we see a lot of the early adapters of Twitter that, they have hundreds of thousands of followers, but who are they? And are they really, is it really worth tapping into that audience? That's a huge audience, but we're not really sure if that's a quality audience, right? So I think it really boils down to the whole quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And when you see, we can all look at someone and see whether or not they're getting engagement. Are people really asking questions? And how many, there is the question for me of how many people can you really engage with, right? How many people you may have thousands and thousands of followers, but how many are you able to connect back with? We only have 24 hours in a day.
That's so true. And you know what? I had someone once tell me that brands weren't going to take me seriously until I had at least 30,000 followers. And then when you hit 100,000, that's when they really take you seriously, at least on Twitter. And I was like, really? Really? Mm-hmm. So I was just, I was like, that is such a numbers game that this person was playing,
Completely. And I think that was very true maybe a couple of years ago, but I think that they're just what you said, Kathy. I think that they're seeing that isn't always what matters. Can you tell an authentic story? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember, Kathy, the same thing, being stressed out about people saying the same thing about the number of Twitter followers. And I just, I wasn't at a place in my life where I could be doing what these other people were doing to get these huge masses of followers a day back in the day. So I remember being stressed out about that, but it made me realize when I started my Twitter handle for my class that I'm teaching at UF, and I started it 2 years ago. So it was really kind of cool to start something from scratch and really build a quality following. And sometimes I enjoy that Twitter handle more than my own, because my own is just, it's a lot of people from a lot of different places, and it's harder to manage when it's so large versus if you start out really focused, which was hard to do when Twitter first came out. We didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, I remember those days, because I was on Twitter back in 2007. And then I was on I was actually I was trying to be a mommy something. I don't even know what that was back in the day. And, it was Kathy PR Mom. That was my name back then. And then I changed it to the Mommy Sphere. And I took a break after 2012. I left Twitter, and then I opened a new account. And this is the one I've grown since then. So
wasn't it better?
Yeah, it was so much better because I kind of had a better idea of okay, what am I trying to do? Who do I want to connect with? So it's been interesting. But Alice, I wanted to ask you also about, sometimes I think, people ask the question, is there oversaturation in the lifestyle parenting or even in the mommy blogger world? Is there still a chance for someone new to come in and really crush it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, we do a lot of comparing, kind of like Lisa said, okay, what are they doing? And that's completely normal. But we all have our own circle and your own perspective. Nobody can tell the story that you can tell. So I think there's
so many niches, I think, too. I think if you really drill down to a lifestyle niche, whether it's you're focusing on a certain, age group or certain, let's say just lifestyle and shoes or something like that, something where it's really separating you out.
Right.
Lifestyle and gaming.
I totally agree.
It's just, there's so many different ways you can slice it and dice it so that you stand out. Right?
Absolutely.
Who are some of the lifestyle bloggers that you look up to that you say, these people are really amazing?
Oh, goodness. There's so many. Let's see. Some that I really, really love. Let me think. So after Miranda, she's my all-time girl crush, I think. Who I'm going to get to see her this week. I'm excited about that. Yeah. Then let's see. Love Brown Sugar is another one who is fantastic. Christina, she is just absolutely killing it with style and fashion and still being a mom and traveling. Who else? Oh, there really are so many. There really are just so many.
What are some do's and don'ts you can share about being a lifestyle blogger?
Don't compare yourself to others. Don't get into the game of looking at, let's be real. There is some validity to the numbers, right? There's some of that. But don't don't get jealous. If you see someone who are going on these fabulous trips or they're working with certain companies, always be excited for them. Someone else's success never negates your own. There's not this finite amount of success that's out there in the world. So be genuinely happy for people, support other people. If you have smaller numbers, that doesn't mean that you cannot in some way be supportive of someone who has larger numbers. And then as you're growing, always have someone that you're mentoring. I think, and make sure you're listening to those that have been doing it for a while. And then keep your authentic voice.
Do you ever have any disasters, or do you ever have any like spammer or haters that come around and just, I don't know?
Oh, absolutely.
And
yeah.
Tell us some stories. Tell us.
I maybe have I've heard a lot of stories, but I think that I have somehow less than most. I don't have a ton, but with anyone who is doing something
like
successful or doing something
standpoint, I mean, people can have haters and be crushed by them.
Yeah, they can be. And I think
they let it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah, I'm not super sensitive to words. Just not words. I like words, but someone's, compliments or criticisms of me, I know that they don't define who I am. So that's not a big thing for me. I think it's just being confident in what you put out there.
And the other day, when you're caught up in social media, you're looking at everyone's Facebook page, and it looks so amazing, and everyone has an amazing life, and blah blah. And you're going to get into this fear of missing out, this FOMO. I had one of our friends post something called JOMO. He stole it from someone's. He didn't steal it, but he borrowed it from someone's Instagram. It's the joy of missing out, and I'm like, you are so darn right, because sometimes we get so caught up in like, okay, if this person's doing this, then I need to do this. And it's like, no, it's like you said, Alice, you have to be happy for other people so that, yeah. And especially with women, I think we need to lift each other up instead of like trying to, hurt each other, bring each other down.
Right. Absolutely. That is one of the greatest things, that I've been able to find in the circle, is that it is so supportive. You kind of find your tribe of people, and that's what keeps it fun, even after doing it for several years.
Yeah. So Nava's writing inside girl power.
Yes. So. At your conferences, you have I'm sure you create circles of support that people you can go to for any time to kind of get advice from, from a mentoring standpoint. I'm sure it goes both ways, right? You're mentoring, and then you can reach out or reach up to somebody that has been in it longer than you have.
Absolutely. And there's some really great online networks too that are helpful. So like the Mom 2 community is absolutely fantastic. Sits Girls is another one that I would highly recommend anyone who's interested in blogging or looking for like educational resources for that. I would definitely recommend Sits Girls is perfect for someone, especially who's just starting out.
That's awesome.
The CEO of Sway Group, I think they bought Sits Girls. She was a speaker at one of the conferences I went to. Danielle, she was amazing, and she told some great stories about the whole mommy blogger community. And she was actually saying how just the fact that mommy blogging has had to kind of reinvent itself and really find more specific niches than just a mommy blogger, which it sounds like you've done.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would agree. Danielle's fantastic. The whole Sway Group is great.
So are you more, I guess you're more obviously in the travel. So you do a lot of travel. You do a lot of like things with hotels. So you do a lot of travel. And I know you do some amazing stuff with automotive. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I think that I think all brands are really looking at different ways of marketing right now. So whether it's blogs, and anyone who has a blog probably has a pretty good amount of social influence. They're probably on all platforms that are out there. And I think brands are looking to reach beyond what has been traditional marketing. So, and they're interested in hearing our stories now too, and finding different people to work with.
Well, I was reading a really good article on something, the rise of the micro-influencer, and how a lot of people are making decisions not on what Kim Kardashian's telling them, but on what, someone that is an influencer, but let's say on a smaller level, is telling them. Like, they feel it's more authentic than, you guys, I don't know if you guys remember this Scott Disick, like, left some information in his Instagram and he was posting a picture.
Yes.
So it was like, oh my gosh, you knew it was not authentic. I mean, you kind of knew it, but that time it was like really unveiled. It definitely was not authentic. So I think that's where people that are micro influencers or influencers on a different level have a lot of power and a lot of, power for the brands.
When you meant there is once you have built up this this stage for yourself, you have to make sure that you're authentic, or that can be gone in an instant.
Mm-hmm. Right. If that's what you're all about, is being an influencer, you have to be authentic. And if for whatever reason you're not, like, it sounds like whatever Scott did, I didn't see it, but it's going to blow your cover.
He literally left.
Shouldn't have a cover, actually.
He didn't have a cover. I mean, he literally left the instructions that the PR or marketing person told him what to write on Instagram. It was so bad.
It was a copy paste for sure.
Oh my God. Well, my daughter, who's 14, she'll be 14 tomorrow. She watches all the different little niche YouTube shows that are, not the Kardashians, but these girls that are Gabby, I think I can't remember any of the names now, but that's how she decorates her room. That's how she picks out the product she wants. It's all influenced by the YouTubers that she's watching. And they're going to have a meetup in Orlando, and she wants to go see them. So, I mean, they're not huge. I can't remember their name, but she knows their name, and that's what she's watching versus mainstream TV.
Right.
Yeah, it's huge for that generation. I was going to ask you that because you've got, I guess, one of your kids, the oldest one is what, a millennial, or is he a Gen Z?
We have 18, 17, 12, and 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure your kids are watching the YouTube channels.
They are, yeah.
Probably are YouTube stars, are they? They are?
The honest, some. Our youngest is the one who's the most interested in it.
Oh, cool.
He has a huge passion for, like, photography and film, so it intrigues him the most.
So he's got a great mentor right there with you. You can show him everything you know.
And what are you seeing from your kids? Like, what things are you seeing from them? Because you've got quite a range there of ages. You're seeing a lot of different ways they're using technology and they're consuming content. What are you seeing, Alice?
Well, so it's very interesting, and I don't know if their perspective is skewed because they've seen the behind the scenes of what I'm doing and all of how that works. They pay attention to, like you said, micro influencers more often because they are more skeptical of what's being pushed through television or commercials or, print advertising. They have in the back of them, they're a little bit critical. And then, so they want to hear from a real person. You really you can't fool them. So you can't, you can't say, oh, everything is fabulous and it's fantastic. They want to hear the parts of, they want to hear the little criticisms of, well, I love this, but I didn't like this. So you've got to be honest.
My daughter literally reads before she buys anything, she reads all the reviews on that, whether it's a shirt or a pair of jean shorts, anything. She'll read all the reviews and then make a decision. And if the bad outweigh the good, then that's that. But she does not buy anything without reading the reviews.
That's
amazing.
Which I never did before. I mean, I do it every once in a while, but probably 5 years ago, I didn't pay as much attention to it as I do now.
That's crazy. Well, the Kardashians almost sold me a car, so.
Did they?
That's a long story. Yeah, but I just had my baby, and I had my baby, and I was transitioning from 2 kids to 3 kids, and all of a sudden, I'm one of those lazy Sunday afternoon. I'm watching TV in front of TV, waiting for Monaco, one of my shows, to come up, and it's like Kardashians was on me, and I'm watching it, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second, Courtney's got 3 kids. I'm like, and she's driving a car. I'm like, I wonder what kind of car she's got, And it definitely was not a minivan because you're not going to catch her driving a minivan. And all of a sudden they take a shot of the car. I'm like, it's a Cadillac. And then it's like, I figured out, I Googled, and it's a Cadillac Escalade, and it had all the information. And I'm like, oh my gosh. No, I haven't bought it. I really want one though. But but I'm like, did the Kardashians just sell me a car? That's crazy.
Yeah. I still get the calls from both of my daughters about the Kylie lipstick or the Kardashians lipstick that keeps selling out like every time it's out. So, I mean, I think the high level, celebrity influencers are still there. They're still there and influencing.
Oh, I would say that too. I mean, I watch Kylie on Snapchat all the time, so I'm fully aware of what new colors are coming out, which is not.
Did you get it? Did you get the lipstick?
I didn't. It sold out.
Oh, I know.
It sold out.
Like within seconds. Yeah. So that's funny.
You have to let us know if you get it.
Okay, I'll let you know. No, but I think we're exposed to all of those things, but through social, different influencer platforms.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So what's your favorite platform?
Oh, my favorite. I'm having the most fun on Snapchat right now, but I can't say that there's just one that I love. Facebook is kind of doing it all right now. Mm-hmm. So I spend a lot of time there. There's a lot of engagement that's happening. So, but I do love live video.
We met in live video. I mean, Alice and I connected through live video.
Yeah. So. And, so I would say that I love live video for the engagement, for the in real life connection. There are people that are my real friends who I get together with because of that. So I think I love each one for different reasons, kind of like my kids. I can't pick a favorite.
That's a perfect way to put it. We have some questions here. How do you feel about Facebook predicting the end of the written word and moving to video only?
That's a good question. Yikes.
That is a good question. I don't think that it will ever go away. I don't. I think that there is an art and a craft to writing, and there will be part of us who will always want to read. I really hope that there is always a part of us who wants to read the written word. I hope there are those who always want to create music, who want to create beautiful pieces of art. And I think that I relate the written word to that.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I just see it as just another dimension in communication, and it's probably going to morph into something that we can't really predict. But I mean, it's like when, people were predicting that books would be obsolete because of digital, when people are still buying books, and bookstores are now starting to reopen. Brick and mortar bookstores are starting to come back. And I just read an article about just the whole thing with brick and mortar making a comeback, like Warby Parker, which started online, and now they're opening up stores. So I think it's just a cycle. I don't know if we can say one is going to replace another. It's probably just going to cycle out, just like fashion. I'm looking at things that are coming back in fashion, just things come back.
Completely.
Record players.
Well, even music. Kathy, you were mentioning, my 18-year-old, all the music that he listens to right now is on vinyl. It's all records again.
Right.
Oh my gosh. We're so nostalgic,
Completely. And cassettes.
Teletubbies are back.
Cassettes?
They're obsessed with cassettes. He probably gets like one a week in the mail.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's just
it's so cool.
And are people starting to manufacture cassettes again, or he's buying them off eBay or
so I think mostly he's getting them from eBay. He gets a lot of packages from London. So I don't know. I think though the vinyl, I think that is being manufactured.
Mm-hmm. It's so cool. See, everything comes full circle, right?
Well, yeah, the Teletubbies are back. I was like, my kids are not going to watch the Teletubbies. I'm sorry. No. No. I will not be nostalgic about that at all.
No.
So where are you off to next, Alice? What's next for you?
So I'll be here. I'll be in New York for a few more days, and then after that, I'll be home for a couple of weeks. And after that, I'm doing an automotive launch in Oregon.
Ooh, that sounds awesome.
So that'll be fun. That's actually really fun. So it's a women's only off-road drive event.
Sounds very cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and then San Diego is coming later this summer. I'm doing something with Kia, so that'll be fun.
Now, do you bring your kids with you?
Sometimes I do. The automotive trips I don't. It's not conducive for kids. Like Kathy said, it would be a whole lot to travel with car seats and
right.
that kind of stuff. So yeah, no, that stuff is just usually me. But there will be some summer travel with them.
Good. Awesome. Well, whatever you do, safe travel.
Yeah. And I think Naba has one last question. It says, do you ever request brand guidelines from companies that you work with? If so, what would you request from a company or brand on brand guidelines? That's a good question.
Usually those are given. Like if you are contracted to do something, there will be certain things that the company will give you to, you can say this, you can't say this, you must disclose. Every time you work with a brand, you must disclose that you're being paid or it's a sponsored activity and that kind of thing.
Has there ever been an instance where you've been just, no, I'm not doing that, or that's like not my brand, that's not who I am, so I can't, that wouldn't be authentic for me?
Absolutely. There was a time where I was doing a fitness series and I was really looking into nutrition, and I was approached by several supplement companies, and there were ingredients in them that I couldn't endorse. I mean, I couldn't endorse. There are times where there may be, someone else working on a project, and maybe, like you said, it's a celebrity influencer and it doesn't fit with who I am, or it's not something that I feel like I can support. I very much honor my audience and those who follow me, to never, so I want to tell the story that's true for me. Awesome. And not that if someone else tells that story that it's bad, it's just not a good fit for me.
Right.
And that's kind of the beauty of being able to do this, is I get to say, yes, I want to do that. No, I don't.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
I have one more question. I know we're kind of running out of time, but so do you have somebody that is kind of your gatekeeper that says, okay, this Alice would like this, but no, I already know she's not going to like this? Or do you just take are you on the front lines?
I'm on the front lines. I still do all of that, all of the sorting out. Mm-hmm. I answer all of my emails and that kind of thing.
Do you work with, so you mentioned the Sway Group, do you work with companies that's what they specialize in and they refer you to the brands, or do brands come to you directly?
Yes, no, well, I do both. So
okay.
I work with brands directly, and then I'm also part of several networks that if they're working on a project, I'll become part of that campaign, sure.
And do the networks, like, how do you go about taking on one of those networks? Do they approach you, or can you approach them? And would you make any recommendations to which networks?
Usually, as far as how to work with a network, they'll have you can kind of apply and you're like in a directory if you've got all of your numbers and those things, so they can contact you if they say, hey, this would be a really great fit for you, or they'll put something out to please apply for this campaign. Mm-hmm. And then usually there'll be a descriptor of why do you want to work on this campaign? Why do you think that it's a good fit? And you kind of talk that way. Yeah, so there's a selection process.
Awesome. Well, Alice, thank you so much. Do we have any other questions, Kathy, or anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think we hit our time. And Alice, thanks so much for joining us. Lisa, thanks so much for being here with me, co-hosting every Thursday.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoy your time in New York. I know you're working, but you're also going to take some time for yourself, which I think is wonderful. So enjoy that.
This trip is a fun trip. I'm glad that I've got a little bit of time afterwards to have some fun.
That's awesome. And Lisa, who do we have next week? Can you tell folks?
Next week, yes, we have Charlie Gilkey up for next week. He's my business coach, and he's going to be talking about all the different strategies for business coaching and, just asking questions. Basically, 30 minutes of free Ask a Business Coach anything. So awesome. Tune in.
All right. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Have a great rest of the day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.